Okay, so I'm back at the gym again today with Jess, my daughter, and my mother. And I've been here about an hour and I've just tried to do my 3 sets of push-ups, and I just can't pump out as many as I used to. I need to get back into this regularly. And I'll show you what I did before I left on this trip 4 months ago now. I got the guy I was using for personal training to give me a routine I could actually do anywhere with some resistance bands and some weights. So I've paid $20 to come to the gym today, but I've got a bag of resistance bands and weights in my car back in Brisbane, where I could be doing this workout for free. So I could really easily stay fit without ever having to pay for gym membership again, so long as I get off my butt and do it. I'll give you a screenshot where I've saved the routine in Evernote, so I've got it with me, fully portable at any time. So I've spent about an hour and a half online. I'm doing a bit of catch up in a couple of locations with discussions I've got going on online. And there is one tool that I have been using a lot more this year, and in particular in the past month or so, and that is Slack. So one of the things that I'm using Slack for is to follow up from the performance partnering workshops that Aaron and I are running. And we've got a number of channels set up, an announcements channel for the two of us to just give updates to participants on what's going on, ask us anything for questions. Introductions is fairly obvious. Participant updates for people to provide updates on what they've been doing, and resources for us to share additional resources. And here's an example of one of the ways I'm using it at the moment. I've got a flip chart from the Sydney workshop with the burning questions that were asked at the start of the day as part of an activity around expectation setting. And I've been grappling with how to come back to answer these questions and check that they've been answered, because we ran out of time to do that thoroughly at the end of the workshop. So what I was thinking was that we could have a discussion here in the forum about answers to each of these burning questions over the period of the coming 3 weeks as a lead up to a follow-up webinar we're running. So I started one about the practical tools and techniques, and it did get 6 replies, but really only one other person in the group got involved with answering the question. So now I'm sitting with the question of, for myself, how do I continue addressing each of these burning questions, and indeed, is there value in me putting effort and energy into it if the group doesn't want to or doesn't engage with discussing the answers? So rather than me potentially putting a lot of time and energy into something which others aren't going to use, whilst there's some benefit in that it hones my thinking and the way I present what I know to answer these questions, if the group's not going to engage with it and doesn't see the value in it, or the individuals from the workshop feel they've gotten the answers without having to have further discussion, why would I put my effort and energy into it? So what I'm going to do is put the question around, which of these areas do you want to discuss further as a group, back to the group, and they can vote on it, and the ones they're interested in, I'm happy to facilitate a discussion around. Otherwise, I might step away from it. We'll see how that goes. I had taken photos of every single sticky note that was created with a burning question on it from the workshop. So what I've done is transcribe all of those. So the overall summary burning question, which was shown on the flip chart, and then the specific questions from these sticky notes I've put together in a spreadsheet. I'm going to post that on the Slack forum and ask the group which of these they'd like to have further discussion on. We'll see how that goes. The other group I'm using Slack with, and where I'm really excited by the level of conversation that's been generated, is with the participants in the social and collaborative learning program that I'm running for the Australian Institute of Training and Development. And maybe one of the reasons they're so active is because of the topic and the nature of their common interest. After all, it is about social learning, and Slack is an online forum to extend and enhance the conversations that generate learning on this program. So although we've only got 7 participants and a relatively small number of channels, there's actually lots and lots of posts and discussions on different topics and sharing of resources going on here over 3 weeks. And here's something we're going to try that I'm really excited about. This is Project Penny. Penny is one of our participants, and she was posting a lot of comments about a particular challenge she was having with her work around social learning. She was posting them in Curator, which only allows you to post discussions against specific pieces of content. So it was getting quite disintegrated, her comments on this particular challenge. So I've created a channel for her to work out loud about this, Project Penny. So this is really interesting because that application kind of came very organically to my mind, and I discussed it with her and said, would you like to take the discussion into Slack? One of the things each of the participants has to do in this program over 8 weeks is develop a social learning strategy for their organisation, or to integrate it with their broader organisational learning strategy and to present that back in the last week. It's called an action learning project. So I've offered all of the participants the option of me setting up a channel specifically for them to work out loud progressively on Slack about their strategy and this action learning project. Let's see who takes it up.